Hey there, Posse. I am trying something new today. So hopefully you guys can see this. Normally I'm not going to be this obnoxious with like, oh my gosh, is it checking? But I need to double check and make sure it's actually working. Okay, I see myself live. Okay, cool. Look at, I'm live on my phone. Cool. Okay, so I wanted to do a quick Facebook Live training, and we're going to use Alex's book as an example for our training because he is live today and already number one in all three of his categories in the US. And last I checked, he was number 83 in all of nonfiction. So like not even the subcategory, but way back to the general category of nonfiction, which is amazing. And he's probably even better than that now. So we're going to use his as an example. And this training is for especially you Posse members who are going live this month, November, and next month, December, because you need to know what to look for when you're going to capture your social proof of your bestseller status. Okay, so make sure you pay attention. And anyone who's interested in, looking into the future and seeing what it's going to be like for you, then absolutely jump in and watch this as well. And I think I'm going to save this video and put it inside of the Biz Book Secrets Masterclass. So if people want to rewatch this later, it'll be inside of there. Okay, so we're going to cover 4 things. Number 1, we're going to talk about Amazon's 1-hour rule. Number 2, we're going to talk about what it looks like to be a bestseller, of course. Number 3 are the 6 places you want to check to see that you're bestseller and take screenshots for social proof to use later. Number 4 is how to quickly find your book in other countries' Amazon accounts. Because there's Amazon.com, that's for the US. But then Amazon.ca, for example, is Canada. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to find that without wasting a bunch of time. So how are we doing this? We are using Ecamm Live. For anyone who has a Mac, you can check it out. I just bought it. It's $29.95, one-time purchase, but I did a quick search and I found a coupon code for 20% off. So I only paid like 23 and change. And you guys are gonna be able to look over my shoulder. So as you can see, you can actually see my screen and look at, okay, I can toggle just to my face. Stephanie, look at my eyelashes. And I can toggle back just to the screen, and I think I'm in the corner there. Okay, let's see. If you have questions, post them below, and I'll do my best to answer. I might wait to the end. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But even if you don't catch this live, I will pop back in and answer any questions that you have. And if you want more, I put 2 ways that you can get more in the description in the notes. So check that out if you like. Okay, so let's get started. I hope this is working. I see one person live. Can anyone tell me if this is working in the comments? Well, we shall see. Okay, so first things first is Amazon's 1-hour rule. So I don't have to show anything for this, so I can just describe it. So Amazon wants to deliver the most, hey Alex, is it working? Hopefully, okay. Amazon wants to deliver the most relevant information to its users at all times. So it actually updates its rankings every hour. Now, sometimes it's a little slow in updating or whatever, but just think of it in general as every hour they update their rankings. So in theory, in principle, you have to sell more books in 1 hour than anyone else in your category in order to get to number 1. Now, it's a bit more complicated than that. The algorithm from Amazon is not published. It's not made public. There are other factors that go into it. But if you think of that as the core element of hitting bestseller, it's really encouraging because it's not like it's not what you might have thought. So like when I first did it a year ago, I kind of assumed that it was whoever made the most sales like over an entire month. And then it was like calculated all officially, and it included like bookstore sales and everything. But no, so Amazon, you just have to sell more in 1 hour than anyone else in your category in order to hit number 1. Okay, so I feel like it's super encouraging. It's not as hard as you might think initially. Yay. Okay, so what does it look like to be a bestseller? Let's start here. I'm going to see if I can drag that little thing off the screen. Okay, that's cool. That worked. Yay, it's working like a charm. Thank you, Alex. This is the first time I've ever used it. I just downloaded it, so hopefully it will be valuable. Okay, so let's take a peek. Let me move this out of the way. Let's take a look at my book first. Okay, so here's my book. If we scroll down, so if you type in copythatpops.com/book, that's my little short, pretty link that redirects to my book. So it's really easy for me to share with anybody. So if you scroll all the way down under product details, you will see where I'm currently ranked in different categories. So although I did hit #1, it doesn't mean I stay #1 forever. So right now, the best that I am right now is 46 under podcasts and webcasts subcategory. And that is where I did hit #1 in the US and Canada when I went live last year. Okay, and then you can see overall, I'm 446,000. So I have not been pushing my book or promoting it at all, and it's hanging out at 46. Not too bad overall for that category. Now, let's look at Alex's book. So he just went live today, and you can find it at copythatpops.com/Alex. It redirects right here. So his book is Practical Curiosity, The Guide to Life, Love, and Travel. And if you scroll down to his product details, boom, he is #1 in all 3 of his categories. So here's how we know for sure that he is a #1 bestseller. Overall, remember mine was like 446,000. He's number 3,853 in all of paid Kindle. So if I were he, and he already has done this, I would go ahead and take a big old screenshot of that. I would even include his face in there. Boom. I just did it with my Mac. I don't know if you can see the little things. And now you have proof that you hit #1 in all 3 of those categories. Okay, so that's what it looks like to be a bestseller overall. But we want to look at 6 different places to find screenshots. That's one of them. Let me just refer back to my course here as well. So inside of the course, under section 2, under module 2, it's what it looks like to be #1 Amazon bestseller. So we talk a little bit about what I'm talking about right now. And under 2.2 right here is Connor's bestseller proof. So when Connor Gillivan went live, I also did a video like this where I kind of captured some proof of what it would look like. But down here below in the notes of this lesson, I've included 6 different areas that you want to look. And that's what we're going to break down right now. Okay, so the first one, we just did that. Look on the book's actual page for rankings under product details for the categories it's in. Okay, so we just did that. This is a picture with Tom Camp. Hey, Tom. So when he went live, he had #1 in all 3 of his categories as well. And as a little bonus, hopefully I won't forget, remind me and I'll tell you the little tool that he used to draw really cool stuff on there for social sharing. All right, how about #2 though? So look at the top of your book's page for a flag on it. It may take a little longer to appear. Okay, let's look back at Alex's and see if he has that. Okay, I don't see a little flag here right now. So we could check back on that later. So when I was working with Akbar Sheikh, who's also in this group, hey Akbar, he did get a little tag that said hot new release at first, and then it changed to bestseller. I don't know why Alex's isn't showing. Who knows? Amazon is crazy. Sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. But at least you know that's a good place to check. Okay, and let's look at #3. And here's what it looks like for Akbar, so if you can see that right there. So this is the top of his page. It said #1 bestseller. So maybe we'll check back on Alex's for that later. Okay, #3. This one kind of looks even cooler. So you want to look at the categories pages for the rankings and a side-by-side comparison with your competitors' books. Okay, so let's go back to Alex's. So the fastest way to do that is just to right-click on the very baby subcategory of each of these. So I'm just opening them in new windows. Okay, so now we're looking at the bestseller for dance reference, and you can see kind of the little subcategory it is on this side, and it shows the other ones that it's up against. So let me just kind of scroll up and position this because I'm going to take a screenshot. Okay. Right here, you can see Alex's book is #1, and you can see what it's up against in #2 and beyond. You can even scroll down and see even further if you want to get like really far down, but it looks the coolest right here because he's #1. Also note while we're at it, he's also #1 in hot new releases. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to get all that. I'm going to get those top 3 plus the new releases. Because when I share the screenshot, I'm going to put an arrow both to the #1 spot and the new release because it looks extra cool. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, and this one as well under, or is that the same? Reference. How are those different? Let me look back at this. Oh, okay. So one is the Kindle store reference. One is the books in general reference. I was like, okay, those look the same, but they are different ones. Kindle, one is general books. Okay, so let me take a big old screenshot of that. Cool. And the third one. Now this one is really, really cool. So this is under travel and then tips, and look who he's beating. Lonely Planet. That's like one of the biggest freaking book people, writers in travel. So good job, Alex. All right, let's take a big screenshot of this. Cool. So he's #1 and top hot new release in all 3 categories. Very, very cool. All right, let's see if we got everything on this one. So look at each one, side-by-side comparison shots. Yeah. And so this screenshot, if you can see it, it's kind of small. It shows my book when it was live in #1 and also in hot new release. You can see another version like that. Okay, #4, the 4th place to look. Speaking of hot new release, you can also look at just the hot new release rankings side by side for another comparison shot. So if we go back to each of these and we click on, let me see if it's see more. Let's see if that'll do it. Yeah. So now you can see he's still #1 over here, but that on the right is now bestseller instead of hot new release. It kind of flips. But here is a way you can also get a screenshot that shows Amazon hot new releases as the primary position. So you can see this one is called hot new release versus the other screen was bestseller. So why not take a picture of that too? So then hit see more. And this one also see more. I'm going to get all these screenshotted. Okay. Cool. Let's see what I've got for #5. Okay. So the 5th thing we can do is also do an Amazon search for your author name or for the name of your book and see if you have the little bestseller flag next to it. So again, with Akbar's, you can see I searched for 7-figure funnels because that was the name of his book. And he had a little bestseller flag next to his name. I'm not sure if it'll be with Alex's since the other one didn't show up, but let's just check it out. So I'm just going to search for Alex's name. Okay, here's his book. Doesn't have a little flag. So that's one I would just mark down to look at it later and see if it appears. And maybe this takes into other things into account as well. I'm not sure. So Akbar had like 15 reviews and Alex has like 2 or 3, which I still need to leave one, which I will. So maybe that's something else that plays into the algorithm factor. I'm not sure. So to be determined, but at least it's a good place to check just to make sure. And then the 6th spot that I wanted to talk about leads us into also the 4th thing that I want to mention specifically on this video, which is how to quickly find your book in other countries. Okay, so what we want to do is look at the other countries and look for the exact same things we did for 1 through 5, but in other countries to see if you're a bestseller over there. Okay, so how do you do that? You want to go to your Kindle kdp.amazon.com account. KDP stands for Kindle Direct Publishing. It's the platform that you'll sign up for free to set up so that you can publish your book. And then right here, if you hover over View on Amazon, all these little things pop up. So US, UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, Japan, Brazil, Canada, Mexico, Australia, and India. Okay, so this is going to show mine, not Alex's, but I'll show you what it looks like. So what you want to do is I just right click it, open for UK, Germany, France. You can literally just like open them all really fast in a window. And then you can peek at them. I'm not going to do them all, but that's the idea. So now only Alex can do this for his book because he's the only one who has access to the KDP. But, whoops. You at least get an idea of what you'll need to do to find it. And so we can see what I'm currently ranked in the UK and all these other places. It'll probably be worse than 46, but who knows? All right. Okay, cool. Oh, I guess I only have one bad review from the UK. All right, scroll down and yeah, see I'm number 45, 48. In the UK, and I'm under tech culture and computer literacy. Weird. I never selected that. So whatever. When you pick your categories, as you'll learn if you take the course or do a coaching call with me, it doesn't always line up exactly perfectly from what you select to what it shows. Amazon kind of has a mind of its own, but if you put in the time to do the research on the categories, it can exponentially increase your chances of hitting bestseller with fewer sales than you might need to have otherwise. Okay, so that is the quick training that I wanted to make sure that I covered with you guys. We covered the 1 hour rule, what it looks like to be a bestseller, 6 places to check and take screenshots, how to quickly find your book in other countries. Oh, I said I would show you another tool. All right, let's see. So I use something called Sketch. So I'm going to open it up. Let's see if it'll show on the screen. Okay, cool. Okay, so there's this platform called Sketch, and you can download it for free. So just Google it somewhere. I don't remember the URL. And now you can open up images. And actually, usually I just take a screenshot on my desktop. Let's see. Here, I'll just take the first one we had. Oh, no, wait. I kind of like this one better. Okay, I'm going to take this one. So I'm going to open up an image with Sketch, and I don't think it was showing you everything that I was doing on my desktop, but basically I just opened up one of the screenshots we just did of Alex's. So I'm going to select an arrow, and you can change the color of the arrow. I kind of like this pink because it kind of looks like my brand's pink and it stands out. So I'm going to draw an arrow to bestseller, and I'm going to draw an arrow to hot new release, and then I can come over here to the text. And if you notice the size of the text like that, you can also change the size of the font by selecting the size of the line there. So here's a big one. And it even lets you type cool little symbols. Well, there it goes. Maybe I'll put a little book in here too. I know this is really random, but I never like to put a book and a flame next to each other because it makes me think of book burning. I know that's really random, but I never will put a book right next to a fire. So random inside my brain thoughts. Okay, so once you've got that, then what you need to do is you need to export it. So you hit export and you can name it. So I'm going to put Alex Berger bestseller share Facebook or something. And I usually just kind of bump it up to 100%. You can choose where to save it on your desktop or on your computer, anywhere. Hit save, and you're good. Now, unfortunately, you can't edit more than one, and you can't kind of take 2 pictures and put them on the same screen and then edit them. As soon as you leave this, it says, I'm going to discard this. But whatever. I think it is a pretty fast way to add some cool little details on there and make it more share-worthy. Okay, actually, one last thing. Let me see if there's any comments that I can figure out here or questions. So I don't think there are questions. This thing, just Alex giving feedback that it's working. Awesome. Okay, cool. So if you guys see this later, please post questions and I'm happy to answer them and maybe do another Facebook Live to answer it if it's a little bit more involved than just a text writing response. I want to do more of these because I think it's kind of fun to actually show the screen versus just write it, or even just like a talking head presentation. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys next time.